What's up, everyone? Lord Ryujin is here. I wanted to do this is take two, actually. I'm not even going to bother posting the other one. It ended up being way too long. This is going to be my second take at talking about Metroid. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get some dislikes when it comes to this, but I wanted to talk about Metroid as a fan. I enjoy Metroid a lot. I have played, and actually I own every single Metroid game, and I have 100% every single Metroid game. So I wanted to talk about Metroid and really Other M, because I think Other M was the best one that came out. I enjoyed the Prime series, but I got tired of it, really, after a while. Echoes really upset me. I thought that its difficulty was a little bit up there, a little too high sometimes. And I really enjoyed Corruption, and I also enjoyed what was it? Metroid Prime Hunters. But it just wasn't nearly as good as Corruption or even Metroid Prime. Now, even though I've enjoyed every single Metroid game, I thought Other M was the best one. It combined everything that everything that I liked about the first-person portion of the series, where it was Prime. It also brought in a new perspective, 2.5D, with the whole running to the background and coming into it and all that stuff. So it was the best of both worlds. It was basically combining the 2D and the 3D. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And all the action that was involved, I understood the story. The story made perfect sense to me, a person that actually understands Samus Aran, and never thought for a second that Samus Aran was actually a tough, badass bounty hunter. She's alone and isolated for a reason. I'm not going to go into that here. That's probably going to be another video for another time. I just think that Metroid needs to come out, and it needs to come out for both the 3DS and the Wii U. And one of the reasons why is because the 3DS, especially when the new 3DS comes out, with its more powerful hardware, it's going to need a game that's going to show off that hardware, and it's going to need a good Nintendo-only franchise that isn't just a port of another game. And it's going to need something that's going to use the capabilities of that. And if you come out with a game like Metroid, and you make it have similar controls to what it would on, say, the Wii U, well, there you go. It's got ZL, ZR, it's got everything. And also, if you come out with something that's another M style, that's full of action and allows you to go into the background, into the foreground, that 3D will really sort of shine through. You can use that new 3D technology that you're talking about, the new 3DS has. You can show it off really well. And the 3DS should do it as well. But I propose a compromise. Make it third person. Because I don't know if anybody out there really remembers, but there was never one that came out for the 64. And the reason why Metroid never came out for the 64, they were trying to make it a third person over the shoulder view. And I think they came up with complications as far as how it was going to work, especially with the controls and the hardware that the 64 had. Southern Retro took it over, and they proposed first-person style, and they developed it. But by the time they were developing it, the GameCube's coming out, so they just developed it for the GameCube. And that's how you ended up with Metroid Prime. And as much as I enjoyed Metroid Prime, I want to see them do this third person. So they should come out with Metroid Prime. Oh, sorry, not even Metroid Prime. You can call it Other M2. You don't even have to. You can call it something different. Metroid Dread, Metroid Universe. Doesn't really matter. They should come out for it on the Wii U and the 3DS within the same year. Maybe 4 or 5 months apart from one another, just to give people the opportunity to enjoy one game And maybe it can be a prequel. Maybe the one on the 3DS can be sort of a prequel to what happens on the 3DS or on the Wii U. Or vice versa. Maybe the one that's on the 3DS is the sequel. Who knows? I think they need to get back to the continuation portion, which is another reason why I enjoyed Other M. It wasn't a side quest like the whole Prime series was. See, because Prime took place between Metroid 1 and Metroid 2, according to the official canon, or maybe it's between 2 and 3. But the fact is that the Prime games took place in the middle of the actual overarching storyline that Nintendo came out with, whereas Other M took place basically towards the end, right before Fusion. And it explained everything leading up to Fusion, which just made Fusion make way more sense to me. Which is why I loved Other M. Not only did it look good, not only did it play good, not only did the story make perfect sense to me, but it was full of action, so it brought something new to the table other than just shoot, and run. You got to climb up on monsters, charge up your attack. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it. And that's the kind of thing that you need to bring to the table with the Wii U. You need to have the option of being third person, aiming where you want, charging your attack, and maybe being able to grapple on by pressing down ZR or ZL or something with your other hand, and maybe pull up and climb and then shoot them. Stuff like that would be great. Show off the capabilities of the Wii U. I mean, you're already doing it with the Fatal Frame game that's coming out in Japan. It was already out in Japan, I should say. It's not here in the States, whatever. But show off its graphical capabilities and what that gamepad can really do. Make the gamepad be the actual first-person view. So if you wanted to cut the TV off and play the game entirely in first person, you could. You have that option. It's right there in the gamepad. But if you want to play it in third person or even in second person, you know, side-scrolling, old school, you have the option of doing it on the TV. That's what I proposed. It seems like a good compromise to me. So when should this game come out, you ask? Or maybe you don't ask, you don't care. But if you don't care, why are you watching this video? It seems to me that the best time to release this game is in 2016. If I understand correctly, Metroid Prime's 30th anniversary is in 2016, and what better time to release a Metroid Prime game than on an anniversary? I mean, they made a big deal about Mario's 25th anniversary, Kirby's 25th anniversary, and Zelda's 25th anniversary, but there was a certain franchise that for its 25th anniversary didn't really get any attention, and that was Metroid. So, I propose that on the 30th anniversary, they bring us Metroid. Make it the year of Metroid. Bring every single Metroid game back out and release new ones. Like, imagine, I mean, I think you already have Metroid and all that, but imagine if, like, both the eShops got every single Metroid game. You know, Prime came out. The whole Prime, all of them. All four of them. All four of the Prime games came out on the eShop. For you to play on your Wii U. And all that jazz. That would be awesome. And then they announced new Metroid games where the 3DS is going to get a brand new, you know, 3DS version. And the Wii U is going to get a brand new version. That would be fantastic. Also in 2016, I don't really know for sure, but as of right now, I don't know of any games that are planning to be released in 2016. Everything that they've announced at these, every single one of these games that they have announced are coming out in 2015. Splatoon and the new Zelda and Project Robot or whatever it is that Shigeru Miyamoto is working on. The new Zelda. I think I already said Star Fox. They're all coming out in 2015. There's no talks about what's coming out in 2016 yet. So E3 2015 comes around and they say Metroid's 30th anniversary is in 2016. And we're here to tell you, Metroid is back. Cue explosion. Because, I mean, that would be big news. And also, by the time 2016 comes around, Nintendo would have gone through most of their franchises. I mean, this year we're getting 2 Smash Brothers games. We've already gotten Mario Kart. We've already gotten 2 Mario games. A new Super Mario Brothers game and a Super Mario 3D World. by the time 2015 comes around and comes to an end, we would have gone through a Star Fox game, we would have gone through a Legend of Zelda game. And unless they announce an F-Zero, Nintendo doesn't have a lot of first-party exclusives left. And this would be the time, I think, and I'm going to go into this more into future videos, for them to really start hounding out the games, you know? And I'm talking about, I've given up on Mad World, especially after Anarchy Reigns. I've given up on them releasing another Mad World. But No More Heroes 3, Red Steel 3, The Conduit 3, and another Metroid game. And I know that I'm going to get a lot of hate, again, because people are just like, well, I liked the Prime series. Why don't you want it to come back? And it's because, well, Retro's done 4 of them. Retro has done 4 Metroid Prime games. I want, as much as I loved what Retro did with the Prime games, I want to see somebody bring new ideas to the table. And I think that if they just made another Prime game, it would bring anything new. I mean, that's the reason why I enjoyed Other M so much, was because it brought something new. It brought 2.5D with the option of flipping the controller to go into 3D, to look around and grapple. It brought action, where you could run up monsters and charge your attack. It brought something new to the table. Something different than what we've seen in the last 4 games. And I think that if you went back to Metroid Prime, they wouldn't really bring that much. It'd be the same first-person stuff. And that's not what Nintendo's about. I feel as though Nintendo is more about innovation. And that's why I think that a third-person style, with the option of using the gamepad for all first-person, because that's what you see out of the visor, so if you want to lock onto something and scan it, you can just look down real quick. If you need to use the grappling hook, hold it up and press a button, and it releases the grappling hook, or it releases a missile. You have that option. That to me would be something new and different, while also pleasing those people that want to have Prime. It would be the best of both worlds. It would bring everything, especially if you kept that action, you know, being able to aim with the right stick and all that. I think that it would really bring something new to the table. Oh. And also, again, as much as I enjoy Retro, I just want to see somebody new. That's the reason why I enjoyed Other M. Team Ninja brought something new and different to the Metroid series. As much as people didn't like it, I don't understand why they didn't like it. It was, to me, one of the better Metroid games. But that's what I want to see. I want to see something new and different. I don't want to see the same old stuff. And I would be upset even if they did the same thing, where it's like, oh, Metroid Dread's coming out for the Nintendo 3DS. Look at it. It looks exactly like Super Metroid. Aren't you excited? No. Because if I wanted to play Super Metroid, I can just play Super Metroid. Oh. I want to get something new and exciting. I've said this before in other videos, where I'm not excited about Wind Waker HD or Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. If I wanted to play Wind Waker, I'll plug in my GameCube and play Wind Waker. I don't need the same damn game again and again and again. I want something different. That's just my 2 cents. Because like I said, I enjoyed the Prime games. I own every single Metroid game. 100% every single one. So it's not like I'm complaining or saying that, oh, I completely hate the Prime series. I'm just saying that I think it's time to bring something new and different to the table. And it's time to spice up Metroid again. Because we haven't had one in a while. And I think if you really want to get people excited about Metroid again, the last thing you want to do is just introduce them to an old style. I mean, if you wanted to get people pumped about a first-person shooter game, bring us the Conduit. You know? You should bring us the same cool exploration and all that stuff that previous Metroid games have brought us. And as long as I feel like, I mean, I'm going to buy Metroid no matter what, because I enjoy it, and I always try to find more depth behind it than what's essentially presented. But I just think that give it to somebody like high voltage software, give it to somebody who's up and coming, and let them try something new with it. Hell, give it to Platinum Games, and let's see what cool stuff they can do with Metroid. That's just my 2 cents, guys. Make sure that you share yours, and I'm sure that I'm going to get quite a lot of dislikes and quite a lot of negative comments. But I just wanted to share my 2 cents on it. It's not bringing any hate towards anything, because again, I love Metroid. I think that it's actually probably my favorite, because as much as I love Zelda, I get more excited about a new Metroid than I do a new Zelda. And I love Zelda. You know, Zelda and Metroid are probably tied. I don't really know. I haven't really put much thought into it. But the fact is that Metroid is one of my most beloved Nintendo franchises of all time. And I think that they just need to take good care of it, just like they do with the Zelda games. They need to take really good care of Zelda. They need to take really good care of Metroid. Not just hand it over and make it a first-person game for the sake of, we know it's going to make sales, everybody loves Metroid Prime. Because if they wanted to do that, they would have forced Retro to make another Metroid Prime game, don't you think? Rather than tell them, what do you want to make? And Retro says, well, we kind of wanted to make another Donkey Kong Country. And Nintendo goes, okay, do that. They would have forced Retro. They do own over 50% of the company. They could have told them, make us another Metroid Prime game, just so we can sell Wii U systems. Doesn't that tell you something? That they want to take good care? I mean, I read recently that Steven Spielberg approached Nintendo to make a Metroid movie. Do you think that if Nintendo cared, or didn't care, I should say, about Metroid, they would have said, yeah, go ahead, slaughter it, we don't care, just give us that money. They want to take good care of Metroid. And I think that the best time is in 2016, like I said. 30th anniversary, no big franchises that are coming out that year, because everything is coming out next year. And also, why not? Because by then it would have been, what, 4, 5 some odd years since the last Metroid game came out. It would have had time to have moved past Other M and its hate, its unnecessary and unneeded hate for some reason, and have people get excited about it again. New Metroid on new hardware. The new 3DS, new hardware. Here's the new Metroid for it. Here's the Wii U, new Metroid. That's just my 2 cents, guys. I think that I'm done here. At this point, I'm running around in circles. Make sure that you share your thoughts on this, though. What do you think? Do you think 2016 is a good time to strike for a Metroid game to come out again? And what do you want to see from it? Genuinely, no hate here. If you want to see the Prime style, share why. If you want to see the old school 2D platformers, share that too. You agree with me and think that a third person over the shoulder is a good middle ground? Share that too. I want to hear from you guys. Consider this to be a shout out. What do you want to see from Metroid? Now's the time to go nuts. Tell me what you want from the story. Do you want to see Mother Brain come back? Do you want to see, you know, the Sayx? What? You know? And, yeah. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.